So I would like to discuss another fair division method. Last time we did one called the lone divider method, which works for 3 people. I want to talk about the next one. And we'll, this I suppose is maybe just like an introduction because, like I said, I only want to do about 20 minutes on this. But this, the next one is called the last diminisher. They have these cute names which always have an L followed by a D. I'm not sure. The lone divider was last time. This is called the last diminisher. And you'll see why. Actually, I think this is a pretty good name for this method. The last diminisher method. It works very differently from the lone divider. If you recall from last time, the lone divider, say with 3 people, means one person divides the thing into 3 pieces, and then the others kind of argue about which of those 3 pieces they want to take. All right. The last diminisher is very different, and it works for any amount of people. So like if I brought in a big cake, we could actually divide it up among all of us, 25 people or whatever. You can do the last diminisher method for any number of people. And the division goes kind of piece by piece. So it's very different from the lone divider. It's like one person cuts the whole thing into 3 pieces at the beginning. In the last diminisher method, you kind of do rounds, but in each round you just cut off like one little piece. So it's as if you're doing this with, say, 10 people, the first round would consist of somebody cutting off 1/10 of it, and then the other people sort of argue about it. So it works for any number of people, and you cut, I would say, little pieces one at a time, rather than, the method we did last time was one person begins by cutting all into 3 pieces. This is not how the last diminisher works. You cut little pieces one at a time. And there's not really one person who does all the cutting, unlike the lone divider. All right, let me just tell you how to do it. Let's say we have, just for the sake of explaining it, let's say we have 4 people, A, B, C, D, right? And actually, it's important that they have some kind of ordering. So it's like A, when I write them in this order, I mean A goes first, and then B, and then C, and then D. And the ordering, you'll see why when you're doing the procedure. The ordering is important. But anyway, here's how it works. First, A proposes 1 fair piece. So there are 4 people here. You do not begin by cutting up into 4 pieces, though. You just, that first person, A, makes a proposal. They say, here's 1 piece which I think would be fair if we cut this 1 piece. 1 fair piece meaning equaling sort of 1/4 of the value, right? Because there's 4 of them. If there were 5 of them, this piece would equal 1/5 of the value, etc. Here, like generally speaking, you want 1/n, where n is the number of people. Sorry for all the arrows here. I said 1/4 just because there are 4 of them in this particular example that I'm describing. But if you had a different amount of them, you would use 1/whatever. So if we're all sharing a cake between 20 of us, you would cut off a little piece that's like 1/20 of the value. Okay, so A proposes 1 fair piece, and then that piece kind of gets passed along to everybody else. A is basically like, I want this piece. But then the others are allowed to say, you know what, I think I want that piece too. So this piece is then evaluated, start with the others in order. So I'm going to say B evaluates this piece. And this piece, either B can say, I don't like that one, and they pass, and then they don't get that one. Or if they do like that one, if they like it, they trim it down until it looks fair to them. All right. So if the first piece that A cut off seems like way too big for B, B is like, I like this one, but it's too big, I'm going to trim it down. All right. If they like it, they trim it down until it looks fair to them. And then they pass it down the line. So maybe A makes a piece. Maybe B shrinks it down a little bit. But in any case, it gets passed on to C. So I will say C and D evaluated also. And again, if they can pass if they don't like it. But if they do like it, they should trim it down until it looks fair to them. If they like it, they trim it down. This is a lot of words, I know. We're going to do an example in a moment. So C and D evaluate this piece also. If they like it, they trim it down. So everybody gets a shot at this piece. Some people might say, I don't like it. Some people who do like it, they trim it down a little bit until it seems fair to them. All right, and then at the end, after everybody has liked it, the person who trimmed it last gets that piece. This is why it's called the last diminisher. Diminisher meaning when they trim it down, that's diminishing the piece. All right, the person who trimmed it last gets the piece. And if nobody trimmed it, then A gets the piece. A is the one who made the piece in the first place. If everybody passes, then A just takes that piece. If nobody trimmed, then A gets it. All right? All of this that I've described tells you how to make one piece that somebody gets to take, right? Either the last person who trimmed it takes it, or the original cutter A takes it. All right? And then that person kind of takes their piece and sits down, and then everybody who's left over, they just do this procedure again to divide up the rest of the pieces. All right? So after somebody takes it, in this example, we started with 4 people. After one of them takes their piece, there will now be 3 left, and they do exactly the same procedure. So now I will say the others, like the ones who didn't take it, repeat this process to divide the rest of the cake. There will be 3 of them now. Right? So in the second round, there's only 3 of them. They do the same thing. One of them will take a piece, and then in the third round, there's only 2 of them. And then once you have only 2 of them, you can just do the 2-person I cut, you pick, the 2-person divide and choose. So the others repeat this process to divide the rest of the cake. Every time you do this, somebody is taking a piece and going home, so you will have fewer people in each round. And then once we get, when there's only 2 people left, they do the 2-person divide and choose. That's one of them cuts it, and then the other person picks their favorite. All right, this is the full description. Kind of a lot of words there. I think you have to say a lot of words to describe it, but actually once you do some examples, it's not so hard. So I got another one of my brilliant handouts here with the shapes. We will try 2 examples, and then I think that'll do it for this. We'll do more examples of this next time. All right, let's try the circle one first. Oh, I think I'm now realizing I forgot to put a copy of this on. Maybe I forgot to get. Oh, I got it here. All right. Okay, I did not forget. All right, so let's try this one here. And as usual, I'm going to tell you sort of who likes what here. Now, you can do this with any number of people. Let's just try it with 3 people. So here I have A, B, and C, and I'm going to tell you, as usual, what they like. Let's say that A likes the dots, B likes the gray, and C likes the white. All right? As usual, I'm going to give sort of a little commentary on the step-by-step. So we're going to do the last diminisher in order of A, then B, then C, right? Sorry, I'm off the top there. It matters what the order is. You're going to get like different answers depending on what order you run these people in. So anyway, we begin with A cutting off a single piece which they think looks fair. That is to say, the piece that A cuts off should have 1/3 of the dots, because that's what A likes. So A cuts a fair piece, or they don't, if you're doing this in real life, you don't actually cut it at this point, because remember, this piece is going to be evaluated by everybody else, and they might, somebody else might want to trim it down. So can I say, instead of cuts, A proposes a fair piece, where fair in this step means 1/3 of the value, because there's 3 people here. And since A only cares about the dots, the piece that A cuts will be 1/3 of the dots, right? And of course, there are many ways you could cut such a piece, but just for fun, I'm going to say, let's imagine that A's cut is, I'm trying to get like a wedge of 1/3 of the dots. And then let's say they also go straight across here, right? So that piece, this is A's original cut here. That piece looks fair to A. Fair meaning it has about 1/3 of the dots, all right? There are other ways that A could have cut out 1/3 of the dots, but this is what I'm going with, okay? Now, this piece gets evaluated in B's opinion. So B evaluates the piece. Can anybody say, does B like this piece or not? Does it look fair in B's opinion? Does B want the piece? Yeah. So when I say fair, I mean, is this at least 1/3 of the value in B's opinion? I would say yes. Actually, this piece is kind of like way better than fair in B's opinion. But anyway, B likes it, right? B likes it because B only cares about the gray area, and this piece is like has all of the gray area. So this is actually even more than a fair piece in B's opinion. B likes it, and so B trims it. And the rule is, if you like the piece, it's probably because it looks like even better than fair in your opinion. You should trim it down until it looks fair. So B is going to trim this piece down so that it has 1/3 of the gray in it. All right. So I'm going to write that maybe with a dotted line. B is going to trim it. So my strategy is like this line here, I'm going to sort of push that line up a bit so that instead of including all the gray, it includes 1/3 of the gray, because that's what fair is in B's opinion. So the new line I'm going to draw will be something like that, right? This is B's trim. All right, so now the piece that we're talking about is right here. It used to be that big thing, but that was included more than 1/3 of the gray part. And so B trims it down to that much, and now it includes 1/3 of the gray part. This seems fair in B's opinion. All right? Now this piece is passed on to C. Does C like the piece? The answer is no. C doesn't like this piece here because C only cares about the white, and this has no white in it. So I will say C evaluates it, and C doesn't like it. C passes, right? That's how I'll say it. And so we're done. Like everybody has taken a shot at it. Either you don't like it, so you pass, or you do like it and you trim it down until it looks even to you. All right. And then who gets the piece? Remember the rule is the last person who trimmed it, the last diminisher, which is B in this case. So B gets that piece. All right. And then B sort of leaves the area, and we continue with only A and C. All right, in the second round. So let's do the second round. So I'm going to just write in what that piece that B took looked like this and that, something like this, right? This is B's piece now. And B just leaves the game. And now we continue with only A and C in the race. So A and C continue. And there's only two of them left. Yeah.
Wait, so I have a question.
Sure.
Like in the original drawing, the piece is now just the dotted line to there. It's not like
from the dotted line to the left.
Okay.
Yeah, right. Because it used to be bigger and then B cut it down.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, and now A and C are going to continue. Since there's only two of them, they don't have to do anything fancy. They can just do the I cut, you pick method. So A will cut it. We're still kind of keeping them in the same order. So A cuts. So this is now just the two-person divide and choose, right? That is A cuts it somewhere to... now there's only two of them left, so A should be trying to cut in half, only the portion which remains, and A only cares about the dots. So right here I'm going to cut so that the dots area which remains is cut evenly in half. That would be somewhere like there, right? I'm trying to cut the remaining dot area evenly in half. So A cuts here, and now we have two pieces. There's this wedge over here, and then this bigger piece over here. And C gets to pick one of those. Which one is C going to choose? The smaller one or the bigger one?
big one.
The big one, because C only likes the white. And so C chooses this one, right? And then A picks the remaining piece. And that's my final answer. A cuts, C chooses, and then A gets the leftover. Piece. All right, this is the last diminisher method. It works for any amount of people. You may have to, like if you have a lot of people, you have to do several rounds. If you have 5 people, you do one round and then one person leaves. Then you have 4 left, you do another round and then one person leaves. You have 3 left, you do one more round, and then there's only 2 left and you can just do the divide and choose. All right, so this we will do, I think that's enough for now. We'll do some more examples of this when we come back on Tuesday, I guess. All right, great. Let's talk about the test then. I don't have a lot to say about the test, but I would like to, like I said, I brought some practice problems. So this test, the new ones, which everybody will do, are numbers, the gerrymandering. So I have the, look on your checklist. The new ones are number 13, which is draw districts. 14 is the efficiency gap. You can see this on your list if you like. 15 is the convex hull ratio. The 16 is the isoperimetric quotient. And then 17, the last one on the test, will be the lone divider method, which is what we did last time. And this one actually has not been on the homework yet. You know, in a normal class, I wouldn't like to put one on the test when it's not been on the homework yet. But if you feel like you're not ready to do this one, then just don't do it, and you'll do it on the next test. I figure I might as well throw it in there. You might get it right. If not, there's no penalty for not getting it right. So those are the new ones, and then of course we will have all of the old ones. And you should hopefully know which ones you already have full credit on. and do any of the old ones that you need to do. Anybody have questions? I mean, I don't have a big show planned. I have these practice ones that my intention is to give these out, and then you can all try and do them right now, and I'll sort of walk around and see how you're doing. I would also be happy right now to answer if anybody has questions about the homework that's due tonight, which is, the homework tonight is just about 15 and 16, but I would be happy to discuss those also. And the efficiency gap, right?